Right now, you're listening to our ongoing investigation of the Shenandoah incident, in which 61 people went missing over a year ago on May 19th while traveling on the Shenandoah Ferry to Block Island. There have been very few answers and an ever-growing list of questions. And after basically no help from authorities, some of us in the Block Island community have decided to conduct our own independent investigation. And by that I mean myself and a few other people who have no idea what the hell is going on and we're tired of it. So, over the past few weeks, our team has grown, with a few more people offering help and more people coming forward with different pieces of the puzzle, including now ex-detective Gwen Summers of the state police. Gwen's provided us with as much information as she can, and she still has friends in, well, not high places, but medium places, let's say. Yeah. One way she's been helping us is by sharing case files, notes, recordings, photographs, and even leads. She says she feels it's her civic duty to do this, but I think she's honestly just been as frustrated with things as we have, and wants answers. Some of the members of this team have lost people, including Marian Ojello, who just lost her husband, John, to what doctors told her was exhaustion, dehydration, and hypothermia. John was an important part of this community, and he will be missed. Next, you're going to hear an audio recording of Detective Summers' notes from October 24th, 2017, when she was called to consult on a missing persons case in Colchester, Vermont. At this point, she was still investigating the missing persons from the ferry, but with absolutely no leads. And if the FBI had any leads, they were not sharing them with the state police. She'd get a lead in Colchester, though. And honestly, we have no clue how to explain it. Here's that recording.
I just got to the address in Colchester, Vermont that Detective Rodriguez gave me, and I gotta say, despite the long drive, it's pretty picturesque. Campground on a lake with one hell of a mountain view. I think I might have found my next vacation spot, if I ever get the chance to take one of those again. I'm here because Detective Adele Rodriguez told me she has what she believes to be evidence in connection with the Shenandoah case. I'd prefer it to be a big friggin' box of answers and explanations, but I don't think anyone in the history of law enforcement has been that lucky. It's relatively quiet here, except for what I can only assume are two people, part of a forensics team, and I can see there's still a police barrier.
Detective Summers?
Rodriguez?
Yep. Nice meeting you. Thanks for taking the drive up.
No problem. Looks like the view alone was worth it. Mind if I keep notes?
Not at all. This way. So, how are things on Block Island?
Still no answers. I'm hoping you can change that, though.
I'm not entirely sure if what I have will answer something or raise more questions.
Why call me instead of the FBI?
You're the lead detective on the case, aren't you?
I am.
Well, I figured we'd be able to have an open and honest conversation about what we might know about our cases, whereas the feds would most likely keep things on a need-to-know basis. That'll drive me insane.
I'm not sure I know anything about your case.
A source close to your department tells me otherwise. So, can I have your word that you'll be forthcoming with me as I will be with you?
Yes.
Good.
Now, why am I here?
2 days ago, Albert Richter, age 65, and Mike Wu, age 67, left their respective homes around 7 in the morning for a day of fishing on the lake here. They didn't come home. Elaine Richter, Albert's wife, couldn't reach him on his cell phone, nor could she find him at any of his usual haunts. When she got to the lake, she found his car and Mike's Jeep still there. When we got here, we found their boat still on the lake, but no sign of them.
Fishing while drunk? Accidental drowning?
According to those who know him, Mr. Wu never drank a day in his life. Albert had a few every now and then, but nothing extreme. We dragged the lake twice and found nothing. We've got teams searching the area, and the surrounding communities have been put on notice.
Well, my community is 7 hours away, so again, why am I here?
For this. Jack, can I have item 6, please?
Sure. Here you go.
Here.
A driver's license? Why would I want... Son of a bitch.
As I understand it, he's one of yours?
Where did you find this?
In the boat.
Which boat? The rowboat? What else did you find?
The only other items in the boat were a pair of boots, a radio, some water bottles filled with ice, 2 oars, 2 tackle boxes, 1 fishing pole, and keys to a Honda. We don't know the model yet. Neither of our 2 natives owned a Honda.
Carl did. He owned a 2015 silver Honda Accord EXL.
Yeah, that locked and loaded.
I study this case every day. I know my people.
So far as we can tell, neither Mr. Wu nor Mr. Richter have any connection to Mr. Svenberg.
Well, that's clearly not the case. Why else would they have this?
We don't know yet.
Has anyone in the area seen Carl? Have you seen?
Unfortunately, Detective, we haven't had the time or resources to look for any additional missing person.
I need to talk to their families, at least.
That can be arranged.
Thank you. What the hell was he doing all the way up here?
To be fair, Miss Summers, we don't know that he actually was. All we know for sure is that his license was here.
I need to search the area for him, and anyone else that might be missing.
You're welcome to do that, though I suspect you won't find anything.
Why do you say that?
The way the keys and license were just laying in the boat like that, if I didn't know any better, I swear they were put there.
Why would someone do that?
That's a great question.
You said we could help each other. What is it that you need from me?
Yes, I was able to get access to most of the files from your case, but there are still a few I can't get my hands on.
Why are you looking at our case files?
In an official capacity, one of the missing people from your case is now directly tied to my own missing persons case.
And in an unofficial capacity?
Aside from none of it making a whole lot of sense, there's a mention of something else that occurred on the ferry, something referenced only once in one of the documents that stood out to me. One detail that's kept me awake for at least 24 hours. The file that is referenced is number 10-66JD48. What? Suspicious person.
I know what it means. Charlie Wren has been cleared.
Detective, you know I'm not talking about Mr. Wren. We had an agreement. Total honesty. Would it help if I showed you my missing persons?
You can't be serious. There's absolutely no way my 1066 is connected to your case.
Yeah. Here. This is a photo of Mr. Richter and Mr. Wu.
No, this has to be a joke.
Description. Albert Richter. Height, 5'11", weight, 178 pounds, hair, brown, eye color, blue. Age, approximately 60 to 65. Mike Wu. Height, 5'9", weight, 142 pounds, hair, black. Eye color, black. Age, approximately 60 to 65. 2-inch tattoo on left arm of pilot wings. 1-inch tattoo on right ankle spelling the name Marcy.
There's no way this is right.
Gwen, please.
Okay. Greg, I need you to send 1066JD48 to my phone. Now. Because I need it, Greg. Thank you. Just a second.
May I?
Sure.
John Doe, number 48. Found in a bathroom on the Shenandoah Ferry on May 19th, encased in solid ice? What?
Just keep going. What you want to see is next.
Height, 5'9", weight, 142, hair black, eyes black, age approximately 60 to 65, 2-inch tattoo on left bicep of Air Force pilot wings, 1-inch tattoo on right ankle spelling Marcy, Asian descent, and his photo. Can you explain to me how Michael Wu, who only went missing a few days ago, turned up dead in a block of ice on your ferry 5 months ago when he was still very much alive and in Vermont?
I can't.
I think we should talk to your friends at the FBI.
At this point, with this information, and given what maybe happened to Tara Burns, we think it's safe to say this is out of the realm of explanation. This was it for us. Not the mass disappearance of 61 people on a ferry without explanation. No. That could be explained by maybe a dozen possibilities. Far-reaching possibilities, but all well within the realm of our own understanding. If what Detective Summers and Rodriguez suggest is accurate, it means a complete breakdown in the laws of physics, or at least in the way we understand them. This doesn't seem possible, and yet it somehow is. Naturally, Detective Summers needed to confirm this theory, or disprove it, so she spoke with Vicky Nettebaum, the pathologist who examined the John Doe, now theorized to be Michael Wu, discovered in the ice on the ferry. Here's a record of Dr. Nettebaum's notes from the examination that Detective Summers provided us.
May 22nd, 2017, 8:35 p.m. This is Dr. Victoria Nettebaum at the South County Medical Examiner's Office. I am under the supervision of Dr. Cecilia Belvidian from the FBI as I examine and attempt to determine the cause of death of a John Doe discovered on the Shenandoah Ferry on May 19, 2017. The individual is of Asian descent, stands at 5 feet 9 inches, and weighs 142 pounds. He has black hair, black eyes, and is approximately 60 to 65 years of age. There's a 2-inch tattoo, Air Force pilot wings, on the left bicep, and a 1-inch tattoo on the right ankle spelling Marcy. We begin the exam almost 2 days after the authorities on Block Island recovered the body and sent it to us on the mainland for examination, due to the amount of time it took to properly remove the body from the ice and thaw it for examination. Upon initial inspection, there seems to be no signs of frostbite on the body, most likely indicating that this individual was frozen or encased in ice almost instantly. What could do that, on the other hand, I have no idea. Maybe a massive amount of liquid nitrogen? Who knows?
We don't need any conjecture, Doctor, just facts.
Then why are we here, Dr. Belvidian?
We need to know who he is and how he died.
Well, I think it's pretty clear how he died, don't you?
We need to be sure.
Care to place a bet?
No.
Great. Anyway, there are no puncture or rupture wounds on the skin, no signs of trauma or otherwise, so he wasn't stabbed to death. No surprise there.
Doctor,
You're welcome to go somewhere else if you like.
just get on with it, please.
Very well. All of his internal organs show consistent signs with freezing.
Meaning?
What are you a doctor of again?
Please, carry on and explain for the record.
Okay, congealing ice pulls water from nearby cells that need it. It ruptures blood vessels as it expands, like any liquid that freezes. Expansion and freezing happen at different times as the organs freeze from the outside in. During the warming process, like an ice cube that's thrown into a glass of warm water, organs tend to fracture and pop as they thaw, which is what has happened here. There's no bloating and little water in his lungs, so it's highly unlikely that he drowned before this happened to him. I can determine no other cause of death.
So he died from...
Being flash frozen, yes.
Can you determine the method?
No, I cannot.
And his identity?
The FBI is asking me? I sent out his fingerprints, dental records, and physical description to both your team at the FBI and to the state police. The state police can't match him to any person, missing or otherwise, in their database. I can only assume that you haven't been able to identify him either. I don't say this often, but I am beyond interested in how this happened. So if you determine the cause, please let me know. I'll sign whatever I need to sign.
Thank you. Let's have the body prepped for transport.
So at this point, our best guess is that Mike Wu was flash frozen and somehow ended up on the Shenandoah. He was literally in 2 places at once, both dead and alive. Schrodinger would be proud, but also horrified, or confused, or both. You know, there are times when you look at the unknown and it terrifies you. As of this moment, there are maybe about 24 or so people who know about this, and now that you're listening, there are potentially countless people. Though I doubt you'd believe us, so. Contact the authorities on your own. Ask about this. Tell reporters. We have, but surprise, surprise, they don't believe us. Our own local paper won't even look into it, which we do find surprising. But we don't want you to be afraid. We just want you to know what we know. So look on the bright side if you can. Look at the cat as alive. Someone figured out how to traverse time and space, but they didn't survive it, I guess. Or maybe they didn't figure anything out and it was some kind of natural phenomenon, which again, he didn't survive. But regardless, it happened, and that's mind-blowing. So focus on that. The magic of the unknown. And tell everyone you know. Be prepared to sound crazy, but you know the file number now, 10-66JD48. You know the names of the people involved. Tweet, blog, whatever you can do. We have people to find, and this attention could help. There's one more thing that came to our attention. Another event that, at first, no one saw as connected. Another disappearance, this time of an entire boat. The Morgan. The Morgan was a 30-foot mainship pilot motorboat owned by the Chalkstone family. The Chalkstones were mainlanders from Charlestown, Rhode Island, and every summer they'd take the Morgan on vacation to a new city on the East Coast. Tom and Clara Chalkstone were in their 50s. Tom was a dentist, Clara was a day trader. They had 3 daughters, Rachel, Vanessa, and Bethany, all in their late 20s. This year they were heading to Southold, New York, on Long Island, and then down to Dewey Beach, Delaware, visiting family in both places. Rachel couldn't take the trip because she was overseas for her doctorate in agricultural studies. After leaving Southold on the morning of May 19, 2017, the 4 Chalkstones were never heard from again. They were assumed lost at sea on their way to Dewey Beach, leaving Rachel as the surviving member of the family. The story went relatively unnoticed, as the boat wasn't reported missing until a day after their scheduled arrival in Delaware, where they were supposed to meet up with some of Clara's old college friends. Bridget Tandy, one of the friends, made several attempts to contact Clara and eventually reported her suspicions to the authorities. A search and rescue was launched and an investigation, and after a few weeks, the Chalkstones were declared lost at sea as a result of a stormy weather pattern off the coast of New Jersey. The story was relatively quiet, as it was overshadowed by several other major stories, including the Shenandoah. No one had suspected that there might be a connection to what happened until a few days ago. One of Detective Summers' friends in the state police, who knew she was conducting her own investigation after her discharge, contacted her about a report they received from the Block Island police. Let me give you a little info on the way things have been working, according to Detective Summers. Since July of 2017, the FBI has been the lead authority on the Shenandoah case. All information related to the Shenandoah was to be reported directly to the FBI. State agencies were specifically directed not to share information with each other, just to go straight to the FBI investigators. Well, good luck with that, Rhode Island. Especially now. Most of the state agencies and police departments feel shut out. And the word is that Governor Raimondo has been furious about the lack of information flowing even to her office. And who can blame any of them? This is something that happened in our state, where most of the people missing were Rhode Islanders. Whenever the state is in the news, I swear it's never for anything good. Well, we did get that positive push with the offshore wind farm, but that's a one-off. Anyway, as you'd assume, there are webs, networks. Everyone wants answers at this point, and it's never been more apparent that we're all being kept in the dark on something. The report in question was from Rachel Chalkstone, and while we don't know many of the details just yet, we know that a few days ago, she noticed an Instagram story that shouldn't be there. Not the first time that's happened in connection with this case. See, Rachel got a call from one of Vanessa's friends, asking her what the hell was going on with her sister's Instagram account. She was told that there was an Instagram story posted to it, but which shouldn't be possible given that Vanessa should be either dead or missing. Rachel checked her Instagram, and sure enough, there was a story from Vanessa. According to the report, the story features 2 posts. One where Vanessa complains that they'll have to cut their trip very short this year because Bethany was getting very sick. Tom suspects it to be strep throat, so he and Clara decide to head back to Rhode Island. The other post in the story, according to the report, is the more important one. While on the Morgan, the Chalkstones encountered the Shenandoah. It's only a few seconds long, but the video shows the family approaching the Shenandoah, off course and apparently dead in the water, followed by Clara suggesting they radio for help. Then the clip ends. Rachel reported it to the Block Island police, believing they were still involved in the investigation and hoping they could give her some answers. Detective Summers was told there was more to the report, but was only able to get wind of these details. So, we know the Chalkstones didn't go missing off the coast of New Jersey, and that's pretty much it. There was no reported sign of the Morgan or the family, no wreckage found along the coast. Also, more interestingly, no explanation whatsoever as to why an Instagram story over a year old was just posted this week. Your guess is as good as ours. At this point, as we're learning, anything is possible, no matter how improbable it seems. So, if you have any guesses, come by the station. We'll be here, searching.
This has been The Ferry, a production of the LittleFire Podcast Network, in association with Tongal. The Ferry is edited by Seth Marquis. Sound recording by Jared Mann and Aaron Miller. Executive produced by James DiGiulio. Produced by Chris Revel. Written by Aiden the Liberty and Raz Cunningham. If you want to learn more about Tongal and the creative opportunities available, visit tongal.com for more information.